This trip is a different side of Lake Como, one that you don't normally see online. Where you normally see a bright clear sky and calm waters, we saw blue Como. But who said blue was bad? We begin our journey in Milan, where we're taking a train ride to Lake Como. For our accommodation, we stayed in Bellagio, as this was actually much closer to the other towns in the lake compared to Como town itself. There was no train stop in Bellagio, so we had to get off Verona and then get a ferry over to Bellagio. We were lucky enough to have really good weather on the first day, despite the forecast saying that it was going to rain. So our plan for the first day was to make use of the dry and sunny weather and take as much photos and shots as we can. Finally made it on the boat. We actually thought it was going to be raining, but it's really pleasant weather, which is amazing. We arrived. They set it for Hannah, the birthday girl. You're the birthday girl. You're the birthday girl. With the ferry coming into Bellagio, it felt like we were in this fairy tale movie. And it really felt like the town was very remote and the secret gem in the lake. Bellagio is a really beautiful but small town, and it's also probably one of the most popular towns in the area. And now the town is built on a mountain, so take that into consideration when booking your accommodation. Okay, we are now in Bellagio. Me and Han finally made it. We're just waiting for the person that's managing the hotel. They're like 5 minutes away, but this was a couple of flights up, so it was kind of tiring bringing our bags up, but it's nothing that we're used to, so nothing that we're not used to. Yeah, so we're always not too far. Luckily, we're in a great spot, and yeah, like I really thought I've seen it all, but this was beautiful. Coming into Bellagio in the boat was amazing. I was like, my jaw was dropping. I wish it was just us, so we can kind of like take it all in by ourselves without anyone, but yeah, we're just gonna go in now, freshen up real quick while the weather's still good. Freshen up, get changed, get some cool shots, get some cool pictures, and then eat, because I am hungry. But yeah, Lake Como, day one, Bellagio. Woo! And we made it. We are in our apartment. It's an awesome spot. It's like basically middle of the town, middle to the top, close to the top, close to the bottom, restaurants around, cozy little place. Bed feels nice. Yeah, bed feels comfy. Aircon. Yeah, we got aircon. That's the important thing. I never knew how humid it was gonna be. And yeah, we're just gonna. What are we gonna do now? Just chill, roam around. Yeah, freshen up, go around, see what's about. I'm repeating what Hannah says because she's not mic'd up. And yeah, take pictures while the weather's still good. So, you ready? After taking a quick shower and changing, we were already out there hitting the town. Just because we didn't want to lose any daylight that we've already lost throughout the day traveling here. And it was going to be the only day of this trip with good weather. Regardless, Bellagio did not disappoint, and it's been such a gorgeous place. Woo! Can't believe it, we're actually in Lake Como. It's such a nice view. This is way better than the streets, down the small streets. It's like nice and open. Welcome to my garden. Imagine, what's it, a cafe? Alright, so we're just gonna roam around. Basically just kill time. We wanna eat, but at the same time, I feel like that's wasting so much like light. And now this is when we get water poisoning. Yeah, it's given La La Land. Yes! What's the La La Land dance? Wait, do it? How do it?
I don't know it.
High five. We literally thought it was going to be pouring rain. That's actually amazing.
Let's move.
We're just going to speed run the whole of like Bellagio just in case it does rain.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is amazing. Yeah.
Look at the flies.
Oh my god. I want a Coke. Hello. Buongiorno. One cola? Coke?
Normal or zero?
Normal.
And then one Coke Zero, please.
One normal and one.
I have something.
Oh, you sure? Oh, yeah.
It's 5 euro.
Ah, perfect.
Grazie.
Grazie. Oh,
Ciao.
ciao. Yeah.
I was gonna get iced tea, but I was like,
Why?
Zero?
I know, like the freaking cold Coke. Just sounds amazing. I was clearly in such a hype with seeing the place. But it's only because every turn you look, there was always these idyllic sights, which I could not stop taking shots and pictures of.
Is that the silver Samba?
Yeah. After a couple of hours roaming around town, we then of course had to have our favourite Italian drink, Aperol Spritz. Chillin'! Cheers! Yeah, so we thought we'll just chill in front of the promenades. Yeah, we're just chilling, we're trying to kill in time before dinner time. It's really hot, so I think this first Aperol is well needed. Takes me back to our first time in Italy. Do you think Italy's really our first? I think it's one of our favourite countries now. Yeah, isn't it? It's like, there's loads of variety. Bro, okay, we're gonna get two more of these. Mind you, I really did get 2 more of those. There's honestly nothing like drinking a nice cold glass of Aperol Spritz when you're in Italy. And after fairly getting away from those drinks, we then just walked along the lake until we found this neat little spot where there was barely anyone there. And we really got to just admire the lake. Woo, okay. We just finished having our Aperol break. Kind of waved. Wow, this is an amazing view.
I know.
Okay, I'm gonna show that view next.
It's like an uninterrupted.
Yeah, it's uninterrupted. Like we're literally by the water.
You can hear the water.
Oh my god, this is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just kind of killed time before we go to dinner. We're gonna go to, what is it? Dispenser 63. But yo, good thing you saw this. This is amazing. Yeah, you're right. It's like an uninterrupted. That's a mad view.
Como is down there.
That is a mad view. No. Alright, so I've switched to the Cine lens and 50mm, and yo, this is actually so good, so cinematic. The only thing you're missing is like dialogue. What's your favourite part of this trip so far? The what? Oh, the eating. Barely even done eating apart from like the things, the train stuff, the drinking.
Oh my god, the drinks. So it wasn't cheaper.
What is? Oh, it was much cheaper. It would have been like £12 per drink in the UK. Yeah. We honestly thought it was going to be like, yeah, I honestly thought it was going to be pouring rain. I'm so lucky that it didn't. Look, I'm even got kind of a sunset with the pink. That's actually mad. Hey. Alright, cool. I don't care what happens the rest of the week now.
Shut up. Still need to see Sunny for the next 2 days.
Sunny, hey, look, yeah, all I'm saying is like, that's dreaming now. God got us on his first day. He's got to do miracles in the next couple of days. How do you feel being 20?
I feel older. Yeah. Hate it. I want to stay 20s forever.
Forever?
Forever.
I mean, my mum had me exactly when I was born, so... Okay, never mind. Yeah, so what's crazy is like we were literally going to let the rain and the weather kind of affect our whole mood for the holiday, so we were so worried about the rain kind of killing the vibes. But we got here and turns out there wasn't actually much to worry about. It turned out not to rain. It was dry still. It probably will rain later, but you see how like we were kind of shook, we were kind of dreading, and we already admitted defeat in a sense. But it just goes to show like you never really know what could happen. Just gotta go with the flow, and sometimes it does work out for the better, like it did for us today. And even if it did rain, even if it didn't, you can still make it like a pretty good trip. So it's crazy. It's crazy how you let weather affects your mood sometimes. And yeah, that was one of our learnings from this trip. It's like you're always going to be the one that's in control with how you feel. So I realized it was such crazy thinking to kind of let something minor like the weather control how we felt about the trip. And honestly, having that mindset for the rest of the trip really helped us be prepared for the rainy weather we had in Como. And okay, I'm not gonna lie to you, having really good weather on the first part of the trip did help a lot, just because we still managed to get that really magical experience. Which, speaking of magical experience, it then started pouring rain. So I don't really have much clips of that because I couldn't shoot, but we basically waited outside in the rain in this line for dinner for like an hour.
I'm so hungry.
The next day it was raining, but luckily it wasn't really heavy rain. And our plan today was to visit the other towns in the area. We suggest getting a day pass for the ferry, especially if you're going to hop around a lot. And the first town we checked out was Verona, which we were there briefly when we first got there on the train, but since we had to catch that ferry to Bellagio, we didn't spend much time there. There actually wasn't much things to do in Verona, let alone all the towns. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when you're coming here. It's definitely more for relaxing. Right, so we are just in Verona. We're trying to kill time before we eat at Dispensary 63. So lucky we managed to get a booking for that. But yeah, just
They're
kill
not-
Verona.
Yeah. The next booking is not till the 3rd of October.
I know. So I'm surprised we got lunch. But yeah, just took a quick boat trip to Verona. Got a day pass. It's just killing time until 1. There's actually not much to do here. Oh wow, this is beautiful. For Hannah's birthday lunch, we were then eating at the Spencer 63, which was back in Bellagio, so we took that ferry back. Spencer 63 was amazing and 100% the best food in Bellagio. Reservations for this are fully booked and they rarely have any walk-ins. So we were really lucky to be able to experience and taste the gorgeous and amazing food they had. This is definitely one of the best things that I recommend if you are in Bellagio. After a very satisfying dinner, we then went to Menaggio, which was another town across from Bellagio. It was at this point where I realized it definitely wasn't going to get any sunnier, which looking back now was pretty cool because we honestly just got to relax and take it in. So everything was much slower pace, which normally we don't really get to do. Menaggio is a small town, but they have this really big square on the center. Here they actually have a lot of food or restaurant options as well as souvenir shops, but the one thing we came here for was this gelato store. This gelato place is the best one in the lake. Also, top tip when you're looking for gelato, look for stores that have their ice cream inside tins and not one where the gelato is in full show. So we just knew this one was going to live up to the hype once we saw those tins. But yeah, we pretty much just sat outside and enjoyed our ice cream, and Hannah even tried to go back for seconds. Apart from that, again, there wasn't much to do apart from taking in the natural sights and walk around, which is what we did. It started to rain, so we kind of holed up here for a little bit. We just sat to enjoy the views and sound of the lake. All right, we are here. We are in Menaggio. It's raining, but it's actually still pretty beautiful. It's not like when in London when it rains and everything's grey and dull. Here, it's still giving summer. It's still warm, and yeah, it's beautiful. So it's actually a quaint little town. There's actually more stores than we thought there was compared to like Bellagio. But yeah, we're over here at the Grand Hotel Victoria, chilling. We then realized it was actually getting close to the final ferry back to Bellagio. So that's another top tip for the trip. Definitely try to carry a timetable around and make sure you know when the last ones are. The next day was our final full day in Lake Como before we go back to Milan. The motive for today was to go to Como town, which was around an hour ferry away. So we had to get pasta, which as you saw, Hannah was really excited about. Although I think because the pasta went cold really quick, it actually tasted really mid. And this was when we realized that the pasta around the lake wasn't really good, especially compared to some of the pasta we had in northern Italy. But yeah, regardless, we still devoured that in the first 10 minutes of our hour ferry trip. During the ride, we actually got to see a lot of towns which we would have visited if it was sunny. So actually the ferry to Bellagio to Como is a good alternative if you don't want to book a private tour, because this essentially goes to the same places. And this is Lake Como. It's pouring, it's thundering skies, still pretty warm. And we actually didn't expect it to be this bad. We are soaked, and we're just going to do maybe a little bit of shopping, see if we've got waterproof clothes around here. We've already booked the return ferry back to Bellagio just because this ain't it, but still beautiful. I could imagine how nice this be in the sun, but we're not gonna spend too long here, probably like 3-4 hours. Our next boat is at 6:10, so we'll see. Hopefully this rain subsides and it's all good. At least I found a souvenir with my name on it for the first time. For some reason, most of the shops in Como were closed today, so there wasn't much to do shopping wise. So we decided to take the funicular up the mountain, where it goes all the way to the top and you can see some of the best views of the Como town. We didn't spend too much time here as a lot of the stores and stalls were also closed, and as we got back down to the town it started pouring, so there actually wasn't much else we could do since we couldn't really walk around. I didn't take any footage of it, but we basically just spent an hour at McDonald's waiting until our ferry came, as we couldn't wait to get back to Bellagio town and basically rest for the night. That night was actually really cozy, hearing the sound of the rain and just watching the rain from our balcony. The next day we took an early train back to Milan, which, going from Bellagio to Verona train station, was a trek in itself. Also, what are the odds that it was going to be really sunny on the day that we leave? If we did stay a little bit more in the sun, we probably would have visited more gardens, but since we booked a day at the spa in Milan at QC Terminal, which was this really nice spa, we had to be in Milan by 2 so that we could check in. After another long hour journey back to Milan, we checked into a hotel which was really close to the Duomo, which was a really prime location. Once we settled in, we went to the spa, which for obvious reasons I wasn't allowed to shoot there with my camera. I did shoot with my phone, but long story short, it ended up getting photo damage, which should have been obvious, so I lost all my footage of that. After being away in the countryside for so long, it was such a welcome sight to see the city. We finally got to explore the Duomo and Milan, and even got to try this pasta place. Again, we waited in line for almost an hour, only for the pasta to not be great. And the next day was pretty much our checkout day. We did have a couple of hours to spare before we had to be at the airport, so we pretty much just walked around Milan again. Milan was just such a beautiful city, especially in the sun, and we definitely enjoyed the city despite only being there for a short amount of time. We will definitely be back for another trip. And that basically concludes our Lake Como trip. It was honestly such an amazing trip, and we definitely made the most out of it despite the rain. And luckily, that gives us an excuse to come back again next time.